only true in fairy tales, and for someone else, but not for me. Our love was out to get me. That's the way it seemed. Disappointment haunted.
My topic is the shrinking middle class. Recently, the amount of middle-wage jobs have decreased as rich and poor jobs have increased. This is a problem because the middle class is the foundation of our society and success as a nation. If we lose it, power and civilization will become corrupt and ultimately create a nation without diversity and a falling economy.
The next piece of research that I looked up was living paycheck to paycheck. Now, what is this? Paycheck to paycheck living happens when you are regularly waiting for your next paycheck to make a basic financial move. This kind of living is decent, but most Americans would prefer having more money. A quote from Time magazine says, in other words, too many of us are living paycheck to paycheck. The CFED calls these folks liquid asset poor, and its reports find that 44% of Americans are living with less than $5,887 in savings for a family of four. The plight of these folks is compounded by the fact that the recession ravaged many Americans' credit scores to the point that now 56% of us have subprime credit. That means that if an emergency arises, many Americans are forced to resort to high-interest debt from credit cards or payday loans. And this financial insecurity isn't just affected to the lower class. According to the CFED, 1/4 of middle-class households also fall into the category of liquid asset poor. Geographically, most of the economically insecure are clustered in the South and West, with Georgia, Mississippi, Alabama, Nevada, and Arkansas being the states with the highest percentage of financially insecure. Here are some other statistics about our economy. Even though jobs are being made, low-wage jobs have increased the most out of all. 43% of job growth since 2010 are from food, retail, and employment companies. 77% of people live paycheck to paycheck part of the time of their life. 28% of people don't have anything saved for emergencies. More than half of Americans have less than $25,000 saved for retirement, and 28% have less than $1,000 saved for retirement. And lastly, our GDP has fallen 12 spots since 1950. Yeah, this is not good.
One way that the middle class is being hurt right now is that there are too many taxes. If we tax the middle class to give money to the lower middle class, that money will not be used wisely. By giving free money continuously, many people receiving this will not work hard to find another source of financial stability. Instead, more people will become poor from giving up more money instead of creating a growing middle class. It is easier to live on welfare than to work hard every day. One tax that has been passed is the Affordable Care Act, also branded by the media as Obamacare. Anyone that does not buy health insurance will be taxed, and those who cannot buy health insurance themselves will be provided for it. This is a good idea, but currently is not helping the economy.
And the plan I'm proposing will cost around $900 billion over 10 years. This exchange will take effect in 4 years, which will give us time to do it right. Small businesses are critical to our economy. They're a key engine of growth and job creation. no matter what you've heard, if you like your doctor or healthcare plan, you can keep it. You can't just make up that language and decide that that's called a tax increase. Look, we can have a legitimate debate about whether or not we're going to have an individual mandate or not. But
you reject that it's a tax increase?
I absolutely reject that notion.
General Varelli, today you're arguing that the penalty is not a tax. Tomorrow you're going to be back and you'll be arguing that the penalty is a tax.
That's because the nature of the inquiry that we will conduct tomorrow is different from the nature of the inquiry that we will conduct today.
As you can see, this is not helpful to the middle class. If small businesses are unable to expand and grow, there will not be new jobs for people. It's going to be one of the biggest tax increases ever, and it's already starting to hurt the economy. The Affordable Care Act may be helpful to the poor if it works well, but currently it is not helping the middle class. Here's why.
Everybody will have lower rates, better quality care, and better access.
The irony is that we've seen this model work really well in Massachusetts. The fact of the matter is, we use the same advisors and they say it's the same plan.
Well, the bill is crafted in such a way that those who are undocumented will not have access to the tax credits or shopping in the marketplace. That has been limited, which is frankly why another very keen reason why we need comprehensive immigration reform.
And I will make sure that no government bureaucrat or insurance company bureaucrat gets between you and the care that you need.
Now, the shrinking middle class is not the president's fault. He is not helping it in the right way, but he is trying, and it is a part of the business cycle, where the economy slows down and loses worth. But the effects that this is creating is a long-lasting problem. It is very hard to come back after a shrinking middle class in a recession. As you can see, these effects are slowly worsening our economy, and this is why we need to work together to fix it. Lastly is the topic of middle-wage jobs. As technology progresses, it becomes easier for large businesses to use robots and machines instead of hiring workers. This saves the businesses money as their employees lose their jobs. An example of this would be a bank teller losing his or her job to ATM machines, or car builders losing their jobs to robots. Economists said that even though jobs are disappearing such as these, new ones will be created as the businesses expand. But even though these businesses are expanding, you would originally think that they would help the economy, but they are not so much because they are only creating low-wage jobs, therefore separating the rich from the poor even more and doing nothing to help the middle class. This topic gave me a new perspective because normally I would blame politicians for this, but it's just business competition. Businesses are trying to spend the least and earn the most to beat out their competitors. Colleges are also a popular topic. If the amount of low-wage jobs increase and middle-wage jobs decrease, it will be harder for middle-class families to send their children to a very good college. Also, you've probably heard that the price of college have increased in the past. They've increased roughly 150% in the past 30 years and will continue to do so, making it even harder and harder for middle-class families to send their children to college. This creates a situation where a family must choose between financial stability and a good education for their children. If a child gets sent to a decent college because they weren't able to pay for the college of their choice, it may become harder for them to get a good job and support their family, therefore creating the cycle over again with their next generation. As you can see, little problems such as these in the economy all contribute to one growing problem, the shrinking middle class. My original idea for this topic was that it was all Obama's fault and that it was an extremely serious issue, but that is not the case. Many people would share this common bias to blame one person, such as the president, for the entire issue, but that is unreasonable. People who are trying to fix this, such as Barack Obama, may be not doing it in the right way, but they are trying. The effects of the recession that just happened are creating long-lasting effects, and that's why this is so important and needs to be fixed. We should definitely care about this because the middle class is what makes up America. Also, many of the people viewing this video are probably a part of the middle class. These families are very susceptible to becoming a part of the lower middle class or being poor in general. This will hurt them and the economy. We need a strong middle class for success because the families and workers create diversity in jobs and help everyone in the economy thrive. Thank you for watching.